Hey, how's it going, everybody? Another pickups video for you guys. So I finally gathered up enough stuff to show you. It's from different places, miscellaneous stuff, but found some pretty damn good deals. Anyways, gonna start grabbing from the pile of miscellaneous shit and start out with something that I got from Goodwill here for $1. Anyways, this is the Angry Video Game Nerd, Volume 2. Which I'm glad is Volume 2 if I'm just going to get one of them. I don't know how many he did, but cool enough is this one has the Atari porn video on it, which just got me rolling. Plus the one where he's trying to hook up an Atari 5200. So let's see. How many are there here? It's 3 DVDs. So volume 3.5. Intro, Atari 5200, Ghostbusters, Ghostbusters Follow-Up, Ghostbusters Conclusion, Spider-Man, Sega CD, Sega 32X, Silver Surfer, Die Hard, Independence Day, The Simpsons, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3 VHS Tape Destruction, Volume B, Bugs Bunny's Birthday Blowout, Atari Porn, Nintendo Power, Fester's Quest, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Halloween, Dragon's Lair, An Angry Nerd Christmas Carol, Volume Ass, Outtakes, episode trailers, vintage nerd material, top 10 nerd moments 2007, commentary by James, Mike, Kyle, and other stuff. And this came out in 2008. This is the first time I've seen a physical copy, man. I don't know if you had to order this from James or if it actually made it to some of the stores or not, because pretty much all I had here was Hastings. And Hastings, for a lot of people in Arizona, know that it ceases to be. Was cool. And the DVDs are in good shape. And got a couple of PSP games at my local swap meet. Let's see. One of these was $5, and I think the other was $3. Yeah, I'm thinking this was the $3 one. I don't know why she had the prices like that, but I don't mind spending $5 on one of these if they're in good shape, as PSP stuff is hard to find around here in good shape. So one is missing the book, otherwise the game is in great shape. And I know I got this on one of my other systems. I just don't know which one. Anyways, this is From Russia with Love, 007. Crazy Taxi Fare Wars, and this is all complete and in really good condition. And another thing that I picked up at Goodwill, and this is from 1988, the year I graduated from high school, became an achiever. Was this made by Tiger? It's basically just a Simon clone, so for anybody that's seen a Simon, y'all know what it does. So I'm just going to turn it on here. And all I had to do on this was just get a magic eraser and clean up a few little marks here and there. Otherwise, it's in really good condition. So after it does that, you just press the button for game 1 or game 2, or you can replay the previous game, or just the same game again. So, cool. Not bad for $1. I got this guy and another vintage toy at a yard sale on the way home, and hopefully this will be a go, as I've been seeing them haul stuff in, and I was wondering what was going on. I couldn't tell if they were using it for storage or what. I just kept seeing them haul in stuff, furniture, and just boxes and boxes full. But gonna have another little second-hand type store really close to where I live, man. If I was in good shape, I could probably walk to it. And she said she's gonna have a lot of stuff like this, and was having a yard sale, and she just said, make an offer. So for $2 I got this and another thing. The other thing It's a Tonka toy, metal, and it's one where you wind up the spring and then it goes. Anyways, I had to open it up and spray down some WD-40, so I'm going to save that to show last so I don't get it all over me and then all over my other stuff. Anyways, let's see. I think this is from 1993. Got a Predator toy here. I have no idea what weapons came with him otherwise. Just need to go over them with a near swab and some alcohol and get all the dust off of him. But he's in pretty damn good condition, so one for the shelf above. And I've got loaded up full of McFarlane toys. Cool find for $1. And then this was a crazy find from my Goodwill because it's mostly just junk. And this is brand friggin' new. And I know they've dropped the price a little bit at my Walmart, so I'm just going to round it off to around $30 or less for brand new. And all it was missing was the foam darts that come with it. I normally don't collect these, but it's Star Wars, and when I pulled the trigger and stuff to test it, still had the original batteries. It's cool for what it is. Anyways, this is a Star Wars Death Trooper pistol, I guess. And let's see. Ugh. Try and read that and I'll give myself a fucking aneurysm. God, they gotta have the smallest print. Yeah, this came out last year, man. So just crazy to see one brand new in my Goodwill. Wise. Dirt B. And 3 holes there for the darts. Like I said, that's the only thing that was missing. And I see the darts at my Goodwill all the time. It's just trying to find them that aren't beat up. So I'm sure I'll find some for it soon enough. Otherwise, you just pull the trigger. Does that. Cock it like a shotgun. The end of it lights up. And then that goes out. Pretty cool. Anyways, got this for about $1. Damn near $30 toy for $1, man. For anybody new watching, I have done better. My larger BB-8 there is one of the remote control ones. Not the real expensive one that uses the cell phone. I could give a crap about that, but it's the next one down. I think my Walmart still wants $50 or more for it. And I got that for like $3. So just you never know at my Goodwill what you're going to find there. It's just most of the time it's junk. It's just hitting it at the right time where all the hoarders and pickers haven't come through and raided the place. There it is. This I thought was cool. Got this for $1.50, even though it says $3.25 on it. I just haven't cleaned it off with Magic Eraser yet, but this is a Johnny Lightning car based on a Nintendo 64 game, Yoshi's Story. And I happen to have the game. So, pretty cool. Definitely worth more than $1.50. Let's see. Yeah, they're just listing out some of the other cars, but I don't know how many they did for video games. This might have been a promotional one that you got with the game or whatever. I don't know. Otherwise, Johnny Lightning is always good stuff when it comes to the little cars. Show you close up there. The detail is really good. Those are real rubberized tires that say Goodyear on them. All metal. Just nice detail. Painted up really nice with the Yoshi on there. Then the rest of these I got at one of my local pawn shops, and he's done this before, as I was collecting them for my grandnephew. These I'm holding on to because they're definitely worth a bit more than what I paid. This I picked up because I thought it was just cool, man. It's more of a adult collectible here. Yeah, it says adult collectible on it, as it's not meant to be played with. Anyways, this is a 1956 Ford Thunderbird. It's put up by Racing Champions Mint. Anyways, got this for $1 at my local pawn shop. Bummer the doors don't open on it. Just the hood there. But even the motor inside is detailed. And painted up a little bit. Well, it's pretty cool. Can't complain for $1. Now these for $1 a piece, just wow, man. I found one of these in the box, but the box was definitely beat up, man. It'd been sitting around, and these are mint, just like the one I just showed you. And worth a hell of a lot more than $1. And when I looked these up, I can't remember what year they came out. I'll have to look them up again. But they're copies of a similar Hot Wheels car that came out in the mid-'80s where it was rechargeable. But it was a standard Hot Wheels car size. So you get your little charger with it, and all I remember is, like, I think the charger looked like a little gas station type thing, and then it had a cord hanging off of it that was like a Walkman jack or something that you plug into the car to charge it up. Anyways, these just have a little stand that you put them on, and then they supposedly charge up really fast. Yeah, 10 seconds to charge it. Anyways, this is the coolest one. It just says Surge Electronics on it. Anyways, motorized XV Racers. And these came out in 1996. So all I can think is somebody brought in a collection, or maybe they closed out a store and brought in a bunch that they had, or what, man. I never know with my pawn shop, but he had a whole bin full of them. And it didn't matter what it was in the bin, man, all $1 a piece. This is the plainest looking one. Yeah, it just says Hot Wheels on the back window. It has kind of a tribal type look to it. Otherwise, just a plain blue car. Then got one truck. Pennzoil, number 46. Batch. Now this obviously was a store that closed out or something, because my 99-cent only will get a lot of closeout items, food, toys, whatever. And didn't have too many of these left, so I just grabbed what I could. The rest of them, and they got a ton of them at my store. I don't know if I'm going to grab any or not, but they had a whole bunch of Hot Wheels for Fast and Furious, starting from the first movie up to the last. Tons of them, man. Big ass bin full. So these they must have had previous, and I just got the last few. They're all Star Wars. Got one for Rey. Let's see. How did this come out? Okay, this one's from 2014. This is from 2016. One for a TIE Fighter. Another 2014 of Darth Vader. Another 2014 of Admiral Akbar. '16 of X-Wing Fighter. And one of the Millennium Falcon from 2016. It's pretty cool. Crazy to find these for $1 a piece, man. I think my Walmart still has some of the 2016 cars, and they're sure selling on $1 a piece. And I looked them up a while back, and the price varies. It depends on the car, just like any other type of Hot Wheels. I don't know what they go for, but definitely more than $1. Let's see, get down to the end here. Show you guys this. And this, it was more the paper type stuff, the little cards or whatever. Some of it was missing, but I was able to get online and find a website to print them out from. So just got to do that, and then I can play it. Otherwise, not in the best condition on the box. Somebody obviously had masking tape holding the box together. Anyways, this is Stop Thief, Electronic Cops and Robbers by Parker Brothers. Find the date here. This came out in 1979. Features the electronic crime scanner, which I did open it up. Somebody had already opened it up once, and it had to do with the speaker, as the speaker just sits in it kind of loose, and then had a piece of plastic pushing against the back of it. Anyways, on how you take it apart, one of the little holder things or whatever you want to call it broke, but not in a bad way to where it's really obvious, but made it to where the speaker was rattling. So I opened it up, cleaned up everything on it, got it working, and just folded some paper over it. But I'll tell you guys how I took it apart in case you find one and can't figure it out. It's a little bit tricky there on how they hit the one screw. So anyways, front of the box, back of the box, family of hippies playing the game, or disco hippies. It is the 70s. And the gameplay board is in really good shape. Original instruction book. And I believe I'm missing one of the character pieces that look kind of like Dick Tracy. These little guys. Otherwise, got yellow, blue, and green. And on the cards, the majority that I have are the sleuth cards. And then the detective ones that each person picks, I only got a couple of them. These I was able to find a printout for all of them. And I think it was the Stop Thief card, sleuth cards here. I think it was the, I'd have to look it up. Anyways, the ones that are missing completely, I was able to find. So, cool enough. Got the original dice. Show you guys this thing and how it works. Get it out of here. And this thing, just like the little Simon type game, just a magic eraser, some ear swabs and alcohol, and it cleaned up really good. And other than the one little part that's broke, which is no big deal, it's in great shape. And let's see, yeah, still got a battery in it, takes 9 volt. The crime scanner looks like. And on the membrane pad here, once you open it up, all that comes out real easy. You got that side of it that's got all your numbers and stuff, where that's one layer, and then behind it is just a thin sheet of plastic with holes in it for each one of the numbers or whatever. So all that was able to be taken out and cleaned up good. On taking it apart, there is a little plastic clip there on each side. I don't think there was anything on this end, but there was one on this end, and that's what's broken. As you can see, it's just opened up a little bit there. Otherwise, and this was the tricky part, the screw is hidden behind this. And in order to get that off, there is, I believe, a little clip there that's pretty thin, so be careful when you do this, and then a clip to the other side, and I think one longer one on top. So I was able to just get a flathead screwdriver and just carefully pry that out. But don't just force it. Just carefully do it, because it is plastic and it can break. Otherwise, about where those lines are there, dead center is the screw. So once you take out the screw, do the little clips here, which same thing. Give it a squeeze here, and then everything should separate. Easy enough. You can see on the speaker, still rattles a little bit, but not bad. It would do better if the little clip thing hadn't broke off here. It's about right there is just a little star-shaped piece of plastic that pushed against it and it just quit working or whatever. So anyways, I'll turn it on here. Turn it on. It's got 3 little lines flashing, and then you've got your numbers, and you got on, off, tip, arrest, and clue. Okay, tip you gotta hold down and just say like block street. So building 1, street 1, location 23. Press arrest. And then on the clues, I agree with the book. You want to play them all through a few times, because it's different little sound effects that are supposed to have a meaning for each one on what's going on. Like if they're kicking in a door or breaking through a window or whatever. So press it once here. It's obviously an alarm going off. I think that's supposed to be somebody sneaking around or something. Door opening, I think. I don't know what that is. Somebody's sneaking out. So, like I say, man, once you get used to the sounds, then you'll know what's going on when you're playing the game. Otherwise, it works great. So anyways, got this for $1 or less. Alright, now for the kick-ass find from Golden Valley Swap Meet. And I have no clue why this guy was selling them for so cheap, but wasn't about to start complaining. Let's see. What's the brand again? I was able to look these up. Brand name on them is Perfect Point, otherwise they're made in China. But man, they are some of the thickest ones I've seen. And even online, the prices were too bad. I think the most expensive ones I saw were $6 for the large size. I'm figuring these are about medium. I don't know how big they go, but cool enough. And they're pretty much all identical on the points, on the style, other than some are 6 points, some are 5. And then some are black, some are, I think it's the ionized or whatever, where it's kind of a rainbow effect. Then some almost have a titanium look, like this one. Well, it's got a bunch of throwing stars for $1 a piece. Say, man, thick. Usually when I see throwing stars, especially ones made nowadays, they are cheap-ass things, man. Real thin metal, and they are not sharpened. So they're not sharp, but they have been ground down. So they're made more for throwing at a target. So anyways, one. This one of them has the rainbow effect, and same thing, really thick. Let's see, that was a 5-point. Here's a 6-point rainbow. That one almost looks thicker. Yeah, some were a little bit thicker than others, and I think that was the rainbow ones. And this one's just blackened steel, another thick one. Just a little thinner. Yep, still pretty thick. 5.1. Show the difference there. Okay, this one's thinner. Yeah. Another 5-point rainbow star, but not as thick, but still, man. Even at this, thicker than the ones I usually see. One that's just plain old steel, not as thick as the last one. Another one, it's just plain steel, same thickness. And yeah, this is the only rainbow one that was a little bit thinner, but still, man, made good. This is the only one to where instead of just darkening the steel or whatever, or ionizing it, it's literally painted on. But I was trying to grab 10 of them, this buck a piece. So this is pretty much the majority of all his really thick throwing stars. The rest of them were the usual cheapies. And that red crap on there are very horribly painted dragons, which fortunately, as you can see on one of the points, just a couple little dots left of the red paint. I was able to scrape some of it off with my thumbnail. Yeah, they're poorly done enough to where in fact, it looked like that's what they did. It was 3 dragons and 3 Chinese symbols, but God, it looks like a little kid did it. Usually they do a good job on it. He had quite a few of them that were painted up, whereas like some of them had blotches of paint on them that they just called zombie throwing stars or whatever. A lot of school, man. See, man, just really thick. Usually to get ones that thick, you gotta buy professional quality ones. Obviously, I tried to grab all the same style. He did have a lot of others. In fact, if he's there next weekend, man, I'm going to buy some more up. So he also had sets of them in pouches. Where some of them were pretty unique. It's like the zombie ones he had was like a circle, and then it had just little blades sticking out around the circle, almost like a saw blade, but like 6 points or whatever. Then he just had some where the blades were outright curved, really weird or whatever. So I'll see what he's got left. Otherwise, at least I got the majority of the good ones. Must have leaked out. Yeah, I sprayed this down on the insides really good with WD-40, so it's still wanting to leak out a bit. Anyways, looked this up, and I'm gonna say it's worth $20 at most. There is a guy that I don't know, American, but he's staying in a foreign country or whatever, and I can't even remember the site, but it's like one of those wannabe eBay sites. And he's asking over $200 for one of these, which is just fucking ridiculous. And then he wants $9 to ship. And on condition, loose like this, so it's not like he has the box or anything to make it mint condition. Anyways, it's put out by Tonka. It's called a wheeler dealer. So what it does is you pull back on it. The wheels are spring loaded, and that's what I had to spray down with WD-40. Got a little bit rusted up, like it just recently got rained on, because all the painted area on the outside looks good. So it's just a little bit on the inside, but it cleaned up good, and everything works good. And I said pull back on it. That's where it's confusing on this one. If you guys find one, you don't pull back on it like the usual on this type of a spring-loaded car. This one, it wants you to push forward to wind up the spring, and then you just let go and it does its thing. And the guy that had the ridiculous price was the only one giving a date that started it. He had down 1969 for when this came out, or possibly early 70s, depending on how long they had these in the stores. So if it's from 69, man, there you go. I'm 47 and I was born in 69, so 47 years old. Old enough, man. Anyways, this is spring loaded, and right now the wheel's kind of, half-ass. Okay, it only goes up so far there. Okay, that's what it does. Huh. Okay, once that's all the way down, it just goes loose. I must have had a little bit of torque left in the spring. So it makes it so it'll ride a wheelie, but it doesn't just stay like this all the time. Once you let it go about, I don't know, 3-4 feet, and then it'll start doing a wheelie and then go flat again. And as usual for the old school stuff, pretty good detail on the wheels and everything. I've cleaned it up a little bit. It's crazy is all the chrome here for the paint just had this light layer of white oxidation, but it was making me think that all the chrome came off to where it was showing the plastic underneath. That I just got a magic eraser and just lightly rubbed the area here, and all that oxidation's coming off. Otherwise, just a little bit of the chrome's coming off on top there. And what's crazy is every time I find old stuff like this, it's always got like little white spots of paint or whatever. It was all over on the windshield and the back of it, just tiny little specks of it. And all that came off with a magic eraser. Otherwise, fingernails, I missed some. The bottom of it, just a little scuffed up. Anyways, not bad for $1. Let's say 20 bucks at most on this. There is somebody on eBay that had one in a box, so more than 20 bucks. It's just they're calling it old store stock as it never got taken out of the box. So obviously mint, but definitely not worth over $200. That dude's out of his mind. So anyways, that's the end of this video. Now that I'm creeping into 35 minutes here. And say, if I catch up with that guy again at the swap meet, I'm going to snag some more throwing stars, because you can't beat the price. It's like he's just trying to get rid of them. I think they've been sitting there long enough to where he just wants to get rid of them, and that's the kind of people to find that really don't have any attachment to the stuff. So hopefully I'll do good. Otherwise it might be a bit again. Goodwill's just been occasional little things like this, man. Otherwise I keep getting there after it's been picked. So have a good one, everybody, and happy Easter to you guys.